Everybody, FAI here, I here, and welcome back to another F1 Manager 23 series. And of course, this is part 5 of our F1 Manager series. And yeah, we are back with qualifying on the Bahrain Grand Prix. Now, I've been thinking about how I'm going to present this going forward because honestly, I don't think there's a lot that will be happening during P1, and I'm not too sure how you all will take me just doing basically one video, which will be just qualifying, and then, of course, doing the race and having a kind of, if you will, HQ discussion / prep race, if you will, going forward. But I think that's kind of how we're going to start really working or moving forward when it comes to how F1 Manager 23 series will go. So, just to kind of quickly sum it up again, basically, I'm going to do P1 for free on my own time, but I'll meet you guys back on qualifying and then, of course, on race day. So that part 1 will be like a HQ upgrade / discussion / prep for the next race. Then, of course, the video after that will be qualifying and Q1, 2, and 3, and then we'll do the race as the part 3 for basically the rest of the series. But I wanted to, at least at the beginning, make it to where you had part 1 be kind of the HQ video. Then we kind of showed off P1 and kind of the new stuff that was going on since F1 Manager 22, and then, of course, now onto qualifying and the race. And I'm thinking that the layout will basically be a wrap-up / preparing video for the next race on the next part after the race, and then we'll meet back on qualifying, and, of course, the third part will be the race itself. That's just how I've been thinking about how the series will keep moving forward without becoming overly stretched or overly, I guess you could say, extended. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into qualifying. And as you probably have already noticed, the car setups are not completely perfect or even completely in the point where they are, or both our drivers are confident. But that's okay. We're going to go ahead and utilize this last little bit of time on qualifying to really get a good idea and good feel for where the setups will be. I'm not expecting a lot from Nick DeVries or Yuki Tsunoda because, of course, the AlphaTauri, as you all know, is not a top performing car. It's, of course, also not a low performing car at the moment. Anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and send out Nick DeVries and then Yuki Tsunoda, and we'll just kind of see where qualifying goes. So, of course, as it is, as you all know, qualifying is made up of 3 different parts. Part 1 being, of course, the very first top 15 will move on into the next, of course, qualifying section. Then, of course, the next, after that, top 10 or so will move into the qualifying section, and then it'll be basically the shootout. But for now, we're going to go ahead and take random control. If you want to learn more about stats and stuff, please do look up my tips series and tips on F1 Manager 23 edition in TikTok, or you can kind of get an understanding of it through, I believe I explained it during P1 of the F1 series videos. So, you know, you can always get an idea of how to manage your drivers from there, and you can take it from there. But with that being said, of course, we're starting off with avoid high-risk curves and driving clean air at the beginning. This will make it to where both drivers don't pull off the best lap they can, at least at the beginning of the series or the beginning of qualifying, and it makes it to where we're not fully giving away the car at the moment. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and let the lap go, and we'll just see where it takes us. Obviously, like I said before, I'm not expecting a lot, especially compared that the AlphaTauri is not a real top running team, not a super low end team, depending on how you manage the drivers. So, take that as you will. Obviously, we have some thoughts and considerations of what's going to happen as of next year, but we'll have to see how the drivers perform, and of course, just generally, who's on the hot seat. I will tell you that, honestly, from what I got from practice one, Nick DeVries is more on the hot seat than anyone else at the moment. I do have some thoughts about potential replacement drivers as far as the reserve driver goes. But of course, we'll talk about that, and we'll probably not get into like the reserve driver or anything until more maybe midway through the season or closer to midway in the season. For now, we're just going to let both our drivers kind of drive it out, and we'll just see where they go. And Nick DeVries comes in second right now as far as pace goes. That's pretty good. Yuki Tsunoda in third. So we're looking at okay seconds. Oh, of course Yuki Tsunoda came in third because I forgot to activate his deploy like a silly goose. But that's okay. You know what? That's okay. We'll just leave it like that. We'll pretend like it was all intentional. You know what I mean? Anyway, at this point, we're going to just go ahead and wait it out and wait timeout until near the end of the qualifying session. The main reason we're going to wait it out until near the end of the qualifying session is because, of course, it will give us a chance to really pull off a best fast lap, especially near the end, when most people probably are not expecting us to at all pull a fast lap. But generally, for now, let's just take a good look at what we got. So 96%, that's pretty good for, obviously, DeVries, and 99% for Yuki Tsunoda. You know what? I'll take that. It's not great, but at least it's a pretty good position. Now, at this point, almost everyone is done with their laps, and almost everybody has pretty much done probably all the laps they can. So we're going to go ahead and send our drivers out one last time. But like I said, in this case, we're not going to hold anything back, and we're going to basically make sure that our drivers get the best lap out of overall. Now, generally, I think that both Yuki Tsunoda and Nick DeVries can reach gold. So, so that's something that I think both of our drivers can reach. But of course, it's really up to the drivers at this point. There's not much more we can do other than to try and, of course, push the drivers to do their absolute best.
We can put a bit of energy
But
on
with that
tires.
being said, let's go ahead and send them out on one last lap, and then let's just see how things go. At most, I would hope that we can probably beat Bottas and at least Alex Albon. Logan Sergey would be an ideal beat target, but generally, I don't think we'll be matching up with Alonso or Stroll at any given point, because obviously the AlphaTauri just doesn't have that kind of luxury as far as the overall power and as far as the overall car is concerned. With that being said, I don't know what's going on with that Williams there. It's like they had a little stall or something. But anyway, let's just see what Yuki Tsunoda can do. And as it is, we'll be right on board, kind of in a sense, with Yuki. And just seeing what the lap can produce. I'm expecting a lot, but you know how it goes in some cases. And of course, it is what it is. So we'll see where things take us overall. Obviously, Yuki Tsunoda in the real F1, or in real life on F1, has been doing better than Nick DeVries, and of course, as we all know, in real life, Nick DeVries does not have a seat anymore with AlphaTauri in favor of Daniel Ricciardo. Now, we're not going to do the real life move of changing Nick DeVries to Daniel Ricciardo. That's just not going to happen. We might switch out Nick DeVries though, but it all really depends on how they perform in the game. But from the performance I've gotten so far from them, at least in P1 for free, it's not looking good. I'll tell you that much just off the bat.
So we need
I mean, there are times when Nick DeVries shines and shows his prowess, but I mean, there are times where he just does not have the pace, and like in this case right now, he does not have the pace at all, and we let him have free reign basically on driving the car. So, you know. So there's definitely something going on with Nick DeVries, and I mean, obviously, I'm not sure what it is. But anyway, as it would be, that's Q1 done, and I think we're going to see Nick DeVries out of Q1, which is really quite unfortunate, honestly, for him as a driver. I mean, I was expecting him to do better, but Nick DeVries is not doing any better than Alexander Albon, who, you know, pretty much already did better than him. Bottas and Joe, I don't know what's going on with them, but yeah, as you can see, it's really an unfortunate mixed bag for Nick DeVries, and you know, much like his real life counterpart, or much like in real life, he's just not performing as well as he should or as well as he could. At the end of the day, so it's something that we'll have to either hope that he'll get better, or maybe in mid-season we'll see him swapped out for someone else. Now, like I said, I have ideas and I have thoughts on what we're going to do, but we're going to go ahead and give him a little bit of a chance, you know, just to make sure that he's just doing the best he can. Maybe he just has to get used to the car, maybe he has to just get a little better. I don't know. I mean, you know, it's really an unknown factor. Either way, we're going to go ahead and save and manage choo-choo, and we'll just see what happens, you know, overall. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and get things going, generally. And let's see how Yuki Tsunoda does and of course, you know, and of course, Choo-Choo. And, yeah, hopefully Yuki Tsunoda gets into Q3, but I'm not expecting Yuki Tsunoda to really get into Q3 at all. I mean, the Avatar just doesn't have what it takes compared to, like, compared to, of course, like, the Aston Martin, or even, you know, the Alpines, generally. But, I mean, you know, let's just say my initial thoughts are Nick DeVries, he's on the hot seat, as usual. But, of course, you know, we'll just have to see how things go. Maybe he'll improve over the season. Maybe he'll have some slight performances that really show him for truly what his performance is capable of. But, I mean, you know, the fact that at least in this first race he didn't even get out of Q1, it's definitely looking questionable at best, you know. But maybe that's just me. I mean, hey, you know, AlphaTauri may have dropped him in real life because they saw something that maybe I'm not seeing right now. But, you know, we'll give him a chance and we'll just see how things go. We'll see what happens, of course. And, you know, that's the best thing we can do at this point. But generally, I mean, as it would be, of course, I'm saying it's definitely not looking good in his case at the moment, and just overall for him as a driver. But, I mean, you know, I would say that kind of mimics real life with how AlphaTauri treated him in real life, so, you know, maybe I'm seeing the same thing that AlphaTauri saw, you know. Anyway, we'll have to just wait and see. We'll have to see what happens. And with that being said, you know, Let's just see how Yuki Tsunoda does on his first lap. Alright, so Yuki Tsunoda's first lap, and not bad for, for his first lap. Of course, it's just an open lap. It's not really a full true lap of what he's pulling off on the car. But at least it'll give us an idea of what he can do and how we can improve going forward. Now, of course, I'm going to be reusing the same tires as much as I possibly can, just because, again, tire wear doesn't really matter, but we want to make sure that we save rubber where we can and we're not overusing rubber that's not necessarily needed to use. Because, again, a fresh set of tires may give you the best lap and performance overall, but it doesn't mean that it'll give you more performance or extract more out of the car that hasn't already been seen, generally speaking. But anyway, let's go ahead and pull off that final lap. I always pull 2 laps generally for the drivers on all qualifying sessions. This way we don't wear down the engine too much or the powertrain too much, but it also makes it to where we are also not wearing down the rubber or utilizing too much rubber. Given that we'll have to have rubber to use on race day. But with that being said, let's go ahead and see what the driver is capable of for this final lap where we're just going to unleash the car. Now, how is race day going to work for this game, and how am I going to present race day? Well, for the most part, I think I'm going to present race day in the sense where we'll go for the first few laps on normal speed, and then I will fast forward myself, but I may just cut ahead to, like, the midway point, or, somewhere between the pit stop, and then, like, maybe the final few laps of the race I will showcase at normal speed. This way, you can get an idea, and it still is fast enough for most of the people, or for most of you to enjoy, without it being overly stretched out. But, that's generally my thoughts when it comes down to it, overall. In fact, some of this qualifying session you see may actually be cut out, at least the fast-forwarding parts. I may cut out a little just to try and make sure that we don't make the content too long. Anyway, getting that locks up on the race lap. Ooh, what happened here? Okay. And, yikes, that's really unfortunate for K-Mag. Ken just really had an unfortunate run there, but, I mean, what are you gonna do? It is what it is, right? Anyway, with that being said, anyway, we'll just have to see where things go. We'll have to see what happens next. But, as far as Yuki Tsunoda is concerned, we are ending up with an 11th place.
Slow down.
Not too bad. I mean, if that sticks, that's not too bad. But, I mean, it's F1. It's unknown how this final lap will go. Man, Lewis Hamilton, though, down in 15th or so for a little while. Alright, Yuki Tsunoda ends up in 14th. So, it's 14th, 19th for AlphaTauri. Not too bad. Lewis Hamilton manages to get up and out of into Q3, and George Russell does too. Unfortunately, this is where we end our qualifying. So, with that being said, it's race day.
The time has almost come for our drivers to fight it out wheel to wheel. Race day has arrived.
Bahrain has seen some of the most dramatic races in F1, like Sergio Perez's incredible 2020 victory, surging ahead from being last on the opening lap.
Now we see Yuki Tsunoda there, Karun. How do you think he's going to be feeling?
I'd say they're in a good place right now. It's pretty clear what the expectations for them were, and they've done well in meeting them head on.
But which team has perfected the strategy that will see them prevail here at the Bahrain Grand Prix?
Alright, that's just a little preview for all of you. For the next video. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and save here, and I will see you all on race day in the next video. But with that being said, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give this video a like. And if you want to keep up to date with what's happening and the latest on the next F1 Manager or in videos coming up, please do hit the subscribe button and the bell notification video, and that way you'll know the moment the next video comes out, and continuing to watch the series. But until the next one, everybody, thank you for watching this video, thank you for enjoying this video, and that's nothing I sign out and saying farewell, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one.